Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger, my friends. We got a motherload of 2XKO news dropping. Sorry the video's a little bit later than you might expect. I've had a lot of travel. I had a 4-hour train ride to Toronto, then a heavily delayed plane that was also 5 hours for the flight itself, and now I'm in Vancouver for the Battle of BC. Hard to make videos when you're on trains and planes, unfortunately. But now I'm in a hotel room so I can make my videos. And yeah, 2XKO, lots of big, let's just hit some of the big bangers out of the park here. Number one, when is the second playtest? We knew there was a second beta coming. When is it? It's running April the 18th to April the 20th. And this is for Canada, United States of America, and Brazil. Now, previously they did say the next test they want to have would be a much more worldwide affair. Unfortunately, this is one of those plans change kind of deal, as this is going to be much smaller in scope than was originally planned. Although a bigger, more worldwide test is still in the books sometime in the future before release. And now let's get another really big piece of news out of the way. One that might have you feeling a certain kind of way, one way or the other, and that is the initial launch roster. So, 2XKO, and they're still committed to launching this year, they haven't said anything else, 2XKO will launch with 10 characters. So you've seen 6 from the previous beta build, you add Jinx, that's now 7, as should be playable in the next alpha, and then 3 unannounced or as of yet released characters on top of that. And you're probably thinking that's not the biggest roster for a fighting game launch, especially for a nominally versus game. And I won't necessarily disagree. When we had that Riot trip, which would have been about 2 years ago now, almost, one of the things that was asked of many of us there is like, okay, what do you think an ideal roster launch size is? And I said, personally, this is only me, but I said it should be at least 16. That was the Street Fighter V launch roster, and Street Fighter V was torn to shreds for having only 16 characters. Now, I think, opinions have changed a little bit over time. We realize, game development's harder and expensive than it used to be. We can't exactly pad out fighting game rosters the same anymore with palette swaps or just outright clones anymore. But still, 10, and I can honestly see some people being disappointed with that. But then also keep in mind, this is very much by design a live service game. And as long as they keep a pace better than, say, Street Fighter 6 and this 4 characters a year, as long as the characters come at a decent-ish pace, then all can be forgiven. Today's problem 6 months down the road when there's more characters becomes less and less of an issue, right? Also, they did make it very clear that on top of things like characters, there can be things like new fuses, new grooves to the game, right? And a fuse is as important as a character, right? Because it changes how each character plays. So I don't know, it's one of those deals now, you look at it on its face, maybe it seems content light early on, but 10 characters with a variety of fuses that change how all the characters play, all the various combinations of characters, and the fact that once we're like 1 year deep, there might be so much content that we forgot whatever shortcomings launch may have. Maybe it won't really be that big of a deal in the end. Like you're seeing here with some of the footage that was provided by Riot, there's already hell of skins, right? And if I know a thing or two about the Riot community and League of Legends fans, they love their skins. And so, we already got 2 different kinds of Jinx here. We have Zombie Slayer Jinx and Pool Party Jinx. And they've already given us a bit of a showcase of what's to come, as we'll see some of these new skins in the second alpha test. And, well, we have Pool Party Ari, right? And that'll move some units of DLC, I think. Like, basically here, before we even have any kind of real proper release, the content engine, the content mill, if you will, is already churning. So, skins, avatar items, stickers, emotes, like whatever. Like we even have custom KO victory screens, right? Like they got some stuff. If you want to do your cosmetics, they got your back. Don't worry. If I can make a suggestion. So, like a character dies, if they do like the Street Fighter 2, like the ooh, I would buy that. Basically what I'm trying to say is they got so much already like planned, obviously, like new characters, of course. Because more characters equals more skins, more emotes, more victory screen, more everything to sell you. It's a live service game. This is the plan. And if you're watching the video, you're probably a sucker like me, and you're probably gonna buy most of it. God knows, back in the day when I played League, and this is before all this like key or chest system you guys got to get free skins, I just had to buy it all. I was a sucker for it. But yeah, long story short, effectively, maybe you could argue content light at launch, whenever launch may be, probably this year. They haven't changed their minds on that yet anyways. But the content will assuredly come in time. It's free to play after all, right? So your initial investment's not going to be too much. Also, to note, in the upcoming beta test, all this cosmetic stuff is completely free. They're just testing around the systems and the battle pass and all that. See how it all works with a live player base. So you don't got to spend nothing yet. So along with this, so they mentioned Jinx, and Jinx, like we've already had a little bit of a look at her. She plays about what you would think. She is an annoying zoner character. She can fill the screen with trash and garbage, all sorts of little buddies, all sorts of like miniguns, rockets. Like, she will probably very frustrating to fight in the hands of a capable Jinx, for sure, right? But on top of that, they've also announced and showcased a lot of incredible and like deeply serious major gameplay changes on multiple fronts, like adding all new fuses, all new grooves to the game. That's a big one, but also changing how major gameplay mechanics work, and not just like adding stuff or changing like the number, like also removing stuff for the better. Like say the base assist call, right? If you played the previous build at all, if you've seen previous older footage, you could hold the button and your character would run before they do their assist, right? And now that's removed from the game. Okay, well actually you can do it, but only in one of the specific new fuses, which we'll talk about. Like for me, like when I was playing, this was a crutch. I would just shield up with Braum and have Ari do her projectile assist over and just run behind me the whole time, threatening it. And then once you realized it for what it was, I'd let go of the shield, I'd command grade. Like I built a whole game plan around that mechanic. And now the mechanic is, well, for the most part, gone. And honestly, even though I sort of abused it, I don't really miss it, I guess. Like I actually think that's good. You call the assist and then they do the assist. No more variable, like have them run for a minute and then they have to worry about multiple things at once, right? They do the job they're supposed to do first and foremost. So I'm down with that, and we'll rapid fire some of the other changes here. But first, let's talk about those new fuses, because once again, fuses are as important to the gameplay as the actual characters themselves, and they're adding some pretty big deals. Specifically, our two new fuses are Juggernaut and Sidekick. And out of the gate, there is one major similarity in that you still pick two characters, sure, but like the character that's up front is the character. There is no tagging out manually or anything like that. You can switch characters between rounds, so you can still have access to both characters, but for both, like the character you pick, that is your character. You're getting a fundamentally very different kind of experience. So specifically in Sidekick, you have a Fury bar instead of a break bar, and this is the same for Juggernaut. Basically, your combo breaker now in Fury, if you have a fuse that lets you have Fury, just turns it from a breaker to an offensive deal that you can do, you know, wall bounce combos. Like think of it like a Roman cancel or something like that, right? You can bounce people off the wall or an X Factor. You do it and they block. You're always advantage on block. It's always your turn. You can do things like dash cancel combos, all that kind of stuff. It's really strong, right? But yeah, so for Sidekick, you only have your main character. That's it. You get a health buff. So you can call in your assists as normal, but that's it. You'll never be able to tag out. So to compensate, your character can take more damage in the end. And has a bunch of other little traits here, like you have 5 maximum bars. That's also the same for Juggernaut. And you start with a bar as well. And when you're being hit and you're just getting smoked, you can time button presses to take less damage. It's effectively for the player who wants to play pure support in like a League of Legends term, right? So if you're playing duos, and many people will play duos, if you want to help out the fight, but you don't actually want to fight yourself, this is basically effectively tailor-made for that experience. You still call assist if your main player is being hit. You can, as long as you time your button presses correctly, make them take less damage. So it's still an interactive experience, even though you're quote-unquote tagged out. So awesome for the people looking for that duo experience, in my opinion. Conversely, Juggernaut, also really good for a certain kind of player experience. And once again here, you can have more meters. You have the Fury bar instead of the break bar, so you get those kind of bonuses. You can do tag supers by yourself, as in you can combo your own supers into your own supers. You don't need another character, unique only to this fuse, only solo tag supers, if you will. You also have more health, because of course you would, because you're only one character. You don't even get the assist. There is no assist. The other fuse has assist, this one doesn't. So you start with 2 bars to compensate on, you have more health, sure. But the thing is this, it's a tag game. Tag games are scary. Learning more than one character is scary. I deal a lot in fighting game education, right? And specifically, I also push forward a lot of SNK games. And, I love King of Fighters, right? And I know so many people that want to try King of Fighters, but they're terrified of learning multiple characters because KOF doesn't give you an option, right? You gotta play 3 characters. In this game, until now, you had to play at least 2, right? And that can be daunting. It's hard enough to learn a character in a fighting game. Fighting games are hard and weird. Like, that stuff sucks. So this Fuse gives you the option, okay, I just want to learn 1 character for now. Maybe I'll learn more on the road, right? But for now, I just want to play 1 character. And this Fuse is explicitly tailor-made that you play exactly 1 character. You get a lot of compensatory buffs for the fact that you're losing your second character, you're losing assists and all that kind of stuff. You're getting stuff for it, sure, right? This is tailor-made. If you only want to learn 1 character, it's awesome. Also, it has a fully unique mechanic as well. You don't even get the option tagging people, right? So when you hit your tag button, you don't tag. You knock out the opponent's character and you send in their other character into the match against their will. This is Snapback, which was something you could argue the game was missing. And from Snapback, you have the incoming scenario, which the game otherwise didn't really have because normally a character dies, you reset, right? So now, if I snap your character back, you got the new character incoming, you might have to guess XYZ mix-up. And depending on the character, that might be like worth it in and of itself. Like, some characters might thrive in this exact scenario to force incoming mix-ups, right? It really depends on players' ability to defend on incoming, I suppose. We'll have to see it in action, but potentially actually amazing. Like, even if this is like a quote-unquote more newbie-friendly Fuse, like, that can sell me right there just on its face. And now to rapid fire a lot of stuff here. I don't want to just regurgitate everything they went into on their video because they went through a lot, right? Like, watch that video. But just things like player expressions, combo expression, all that kind of stuff, they're doing good. Like our new last strike system. So if a move spikes, wall bounces, whatever, if you do it twice in a combo, it'll automatically end the combo, but you get compensatory buffs. And they're big deals, like choosing how you want to end your combo besides always just, I just do whatever does the most damage and most meter. Now you choose, okay, this definitively will give me more meter. This will give me a better knockdown, better Oki situation. Like, that's can change combo to combo. You might not always want to do the same thing twice. You got to do what this situation calls for. So that's really cool. And they've also mentioned things like there's less hit stop on hits. So combos will be shorter overall on top of just kind of changing combo routing. So less time being spent in combos, more times actually fighting. That's nice. Lots of making just like the control layout more universal. So like things like down heavy, that's just universal, launcher, anti-air, both. You don't got to worry about down heavy, down forward heavy, all that. So just less things to worry about. That's nice. One change I found particularly interesting is effectively what you would call a new layer of push block. So the game already has push block, but it takes meter, and people never want to spend meter on things that don't do damage, right? So it's strong-ish, but it costs meter. And you have the retreating guard, where you can kind of move you push block yourself backwards, although you're vulnerable to lows, so it does have a distinct weakness on top of it, cornering yourself. So they gave another way to push block, which is very strong, but also with a defined weakness. So you can effectively have your assist push block the enemy, and then, push back very far, yes, but it also leaves them on screen. So for one, it resets your assist timer, sure, so you're locked out assist. So you did a defensive thing, now you can't spam assists as much for a few seconds. Okay, so that's a weakness in and of itself, but if both of your characters are on screen, you only get to control one. Sure, you can handshake into the other one. So if someone knows you're going to use your assist push block, they could do XYZ special, super, whatever, because they know someone's going to be on screen. So if you got a low health character coming to help you do the assist push block, then theoretically Jinx can just immediately go for beam super and blow them away, right? Maybe you handshake, tag, and then they block, but then the other character you just handshaked out of, they're the one getting blown away, right? So like, it seems to be built like it's obviously very strong. You effectively get a push block for free, but it does leave a key weakness open against you. Cool thing that adds more depth of the gameplay, in my opinion. So once again, I don't want to belabor every single change. Watch that video. We also have what are effective patch notes for everything. So if you want to check that out, I'll link that in the video description. But lots of things are coming for the game. Like, I think this is almost all upside as far as the gameplay and the mechanics go. These are smart decisions. It goes to show that taking their time, not trying to rush the game out the door, it is to their benefit because it'll make a much stronger product in the end. The only real questions I have aren't even necessarily these mechanics as stated, because I do like them. It's more on the character end of things. Like Braum. I found Braum really fun to play, right? I don't think Braum was very good, honestly. So, like, I would like to see what changes. Or, conversely, I want to find Alawi fun to play, right? I thought, honestly, she's kind of boring. I think she's incredibly limited compared to what some of the other characters like Echo or Ari can do. So, mechanical changes to the character themselves, like, I would love to see where that's going. I'm sure the characters will be very different gameplay balance-wise compared to the previous alpha test. I'm looking for more reason to like the characters that I like, effectively, right? So all this overarching stuff sounds good, sounds great. I'm looking forward to it. Buff Alawi, please. That's what I'll say, right? But yeah, that's the big update, and if this is the decision-making going forward, then I got really high hopes for the game, because these are a lot of smart changes, and if they keep this level of thought, dedication and thought process going forward, like, okay, that probably will lead to good things in the future. For the beta test, unfortunately, still somewhat limited in scope. The big worldwide test, I don't know when. This game ain't coming out before Evo. We know that, because otherwise it would be at Evo, right? I'm thinking maybe holiday-ish. We'll see. So sometime before the holiday-ish, hopefully a proper worldwide test so everybody can get their hands on the game. And I hope the best for every single fighting game, because I'm a fighting game shill. I love fighting games. I want every fighting game to be the best fighting game they can be. And I want 2XKO, funnily enough, to be the best fighting game it can be. So here's hoping. So check the video description for additional links to check out the patch notes, check out the video, all that kind of stuff. And other than that, that is the end of the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and when you get the chance, when you can, go out and play some 2XKO.